guys, so welcome back to our tutorial video, and for today's lesson we will discuss exponential function. So simulan natin sa evaluating exponential function. But first, what is exponential function? So when we say exponential function, it is a function in the form f of x equals b raised to x. So ganito yung itsura ng ating exponential function. So, sa madaling salita, i-compare lang natin siya dun sa mga unang function, yung mga rational functions, inverse functions. When we say exponential function, came from the word exponent. It means yung mga numbers or yung variable ay naka-exponent na. Diba, last time for example, ganito yung ginagawa natin sa basic concepts of functions. We have 2x. So, kapag exponential function, magiging 2 raised to x. So, madali lang naman ma-identify kung exponential function ba yung given function. Titignan nyo lang yung ating given function kapag yung variables natin ay naka-exponent. That is exponential function. So, now, when we say evaluating, kaya lang rin yung evaluating function natin una-una, is magsasubstitute lang tayo dun sa variable. Or for example, sa value ni x. So, let's proceed to our first example. So, let's proceed with example number 1. We have f of x equals 3 raised to x plus 1. So, we have an exponential function which is f of x equals 3 raised to x plus 1. So, exponent po sa x plus 1. So, evaluate or find f of 2, f of negative 2, and then f of 0. So, f of 2, substitute lang po natin dun sa given na function. So, f of 2 equals, ang given natin ay 3 raised to x plus 1. So, i-substitute lang po natin si 2 dito kay x para makuha yung sagot. Equals 3 raised to 2 plus 1. Sinubstitute lang po natin yung 2 sa x. And then we have 3 raised to 2 plus 1, we have 3. So, 3 raised to 3, ang ibig sabihin niyan ay 3 times 3 times 3. So, 3 times 3 times 3. Yan po ang ibig sabihin ni 3 cube. Equals, 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. So, the answer is 27. Okay. Next, we have f of negative 2. So, ganun din. F of negative 2 equals 3, yung given natin, raised to x plus 1. Substitute equals 3 raised to negative 2, sinubstitute ko lang sa x, plus 1. Kinapi ko lang to. And then next, 3, negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. So, we have negative 1. Again, negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. So, we have 3 raised to negative 1. Pag 3 raised to negative 1, kinukuha po yung reciprocal niyan, binababa natin si 3 para maging positive. Bawal kasi ang negative exponent. Okay. So, ang matitira na lang sa taas, since ibababa mo si 3, yung 1 na invisible. 1 over 3. So, since binaba mo na si negative 1, magiging positive 1 na yan. And then, kapag ang exponent ay 1, hindi na po pinapakita. So, ang sagot na lang ay 1/3. Okay. Last one, we have f of 0. So, f of 0 equals 3 raised to 0 plus 1 equals 3. 0 plus 1 is 1. So, 3 raised to 1. Ang final answer natin dyan, hindi na pinapakita si 1. 3 na lang. So, the answer is 3. Okay, so ganun lang kasimple ka evaluating function. So, let's have another example. Okay. So, for example, f of x equals 2 raised to x. And then, find f of 2, f of 0, and then f of negative 1. Again, when we are evaluating function or exponential function, mag-substitute lang tayo sa value ng x or sa variable. So, for number 1, we have find f of 2. So, ang given function natin f of x equals 2 raised to x. So, substitute lang natin f of 2 equals 2 raised to, substitute lang natin dito yung 2. Ayan. 2 raised to 2. When we say 2 raised to 2, it is 2 times 2. So, 2 times 2 equals 4. So, how about f of 0? So, f of 0 is equal to 2x, 2 raised to x, 2 raised to x is given. So, we have f of 0 equals 2 raised to 0 equals any number raised to 0 is equal to 1. So, the answer is 1. 2 raised to 0 is 1. So, kahit 1 million raised to 0 ay laging 1. Next, last one, we have f of negative 1. So, f of negative 1 equals, so, ang given natin ay 2 raised to x, 2 raised to negative 1 equals, again, kapag ka negative, yung exponent natin, binababa natin yan. So, matitira na lang dyan is, sa taas, 1, kasi bababa natin si 2. So, magiging 1 over 2, and then si 1, magiging positive na yan. 2 raised to 1. And then, kapag 2 raised to 1, hindi na po pinapakita si 1. Invisible na yan. So, 2 raised to 1 ay equal kay 1/2. Okay. So, let's have another example. For example, we have g of x equals 3 times 4 raised to x. So, ang ginamit naman nating function dito is g. Hindi naman laging f si function. So, any letter will do. So, g of x equals 3 raised to 4, 3 times 4 raised to x. And, observe the given, ang naka-raise lang po kay x ay si 4, hindi si 3. Okay, so, find, una, g of 2, pangalawa, g of 0, and then pangatlo is g of 3 halves, or 3 over 2. So, let's have letter A. We have g of 2. Evaluate natin to, evaluate natin si g of 2. So, g of 2 equals 3 times 4 raised to x. Ayan yung given natin, di ba? So, substitute lang po natin si 2 kay x. So, we have 3 times 4 raised to 2. Sinubstitute lang po si 2. And then, next, bago mo i-multiply, kasi di ba pagka parenthesis, multiplication yan, bago mo i-multiply si 3 times 4, ito muna ang exponent. So, 4 squared. Evaluate mo muna exponent. 4 squared means 4 times 4. So, 4 times 4 is 16. So, we have 3 times 4 squared. 4 times 4 ay 16. So, the answer is 3 times 16 is 48. So, the answer is 48. Again, ganun pag naka-exponent, exponent muna bago multiplication. Okay, next natin, we have g of 0. So, g of 0 is equal to 3 raised to, times 4 raised to x. Kinokopya ko lang yung given. Next is, substitute 3 times 4 raised to 0. Next. So, bago yung multiply, 4 raised to 0 muna. 4 raised to 0, any number raised to 0 ay 1. So, 3 natira na lang dito ay 1. So, 3 times 1 is 3. So, the answer is 3. Okay, next. Itong letter C. Ito na, medyo fraction. So, g of 3 halves. So, g of 3 halves, we have g of 3 over 2 equals 3 times 4 raised to 3 over 2. Okay. Equals, substitute lang natin. Okay, sinubstitute ko na pala. Ito yung x. Kaya nakalista siya kay 3 halves. So, again, ito muna, bago may multiply sa 3. So, copy ko lang si 3 dito. So, yung loss of exponent natin na 4 raised to 3 halves, gagawin mo radicals yan. So, it means, si 2 ay magiging index natin, and then si 3 kasama siya ni 4 sa loob. So, magiging square root. So, magiging ganyan yan. Pakita ko lang. And then, nandito si 4, kasama niya si 3. So, ganyan siya kapag ginawang radical. Etong 2, magiging index ng ating radical. And then, si 4, ito siya sa loob. And then, si 3, yung numerator, magiging exponent siya ni 4. Yung nasa loob. So, So, ang ibig sabihin po kapag 2 yun na dito ay square root at hindi na pinapakita yan si 2. Automatic na yan kapag ka square root lang ang nakalagay, square, ibig sabihin 2 na yung index nun. So, we have 3 times square root of 4 raised to 3. Okay. So, 3 square root, evaluate lang muna natin si 4, simplify pala natin si 4 raised to 3. 4 raised to 3 means 4 times 4 times 4. So, 4 times 4 is 16. And then, 16 times 4 is 64. So, 3 square root of 64. Okay? And then, next, si 64 ay perfect square. So, makukuha natin yung square root ni 64. What is the square root of 64? The square root of 64 is 8. So, 3, syempre, pag nilabas mo yung square root ni 64, 8, magiging multiply yan. Multiply mo dun sa labas, which is 3. So, magiging 3 times 8. So, 3 times 8 equals 24. So, ito yung sagot. So, ganun siya. Again, dito, kinonvert natin into radical. Si 2 naging square. Si 3 naging exponent ng nasa loob, which is 4. And then, next, 4 cube. Means 4 times 4 times 4, we have 64. Square root ni 64 ay 8. Tapos, multiply mo siya dito sa 3. Kaya 3 times 8 equals 24. So, ganun lang po kayo evaluating exponential function. So, mahalaga na alam nyo yung mga laws of exponent para mapadali yung pag-evaluate nyo sa mga exponential function.